11 people showed up on Monday night, walking into the final screening of my documentary in Perth. I walked to the front of the room and I looked out at a lot of empty seats. And instantly I felt like a fucking failure. I was embarrassed. I thought to myself, how could only 11 people show up? And then I realized something. A year ago, I would have dreamed of being able to fly halfway, or actually right across the country, to have 11 people paying to watch my documentary to learn more about my story with the 58 marathons. So why did 11 people feel like a failure? In this video, I'm going to run you through more of that story, but a framework that helped me shift it in real time to be so grateful and make it one of the best nights of this tour. If you're new to the page, make sure you click follow so you can hear more awesome stories like this. But we all have those moments in life where we feel like a failure. And if you reflect on it, it might have been something that previously you would have always been striving to do. And now the baseline has risen and it's just never good enough. And this reminded me in that moment, as I'm sitting at the front of the stage about to introduce the documentary and looking at these 11 people, I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm a failure. But I reminded myself that that was the goal. And so what happened in that moment was I did a reframe, and this is the first step of this framework. It's a 3-step framework that you can use, but we want to reframe what perspective am I choosing, right? And this happened in the marathons, but I'll save that story for a different time. But 11 people initially meant failure, but 12 months ago, 11 people would have been success. So same number, different perspective. And that's ultimately what a reframe is. So in your life, I invite you to ask yourself, where are you feeling like a failure? And is that benchmark or that standard that you're holding yourself to, at what point was that once the success? It's an interesting thing to think about, and it's something that you can change instantly. And that's what I did up there. I was like, 11 people have invested their own time and money and effort and energy to be in these seats tonight. This is success, Lockie. I'm going to make this one of the best nights of their life. And so as I was introducing the cinema, and after I'd reframed that to be like, this is going to be the best night of their life, I moved on to a second thing that I just did in the moment, but I'm breaking this down for you now, is I wanted to choose how I wanted to respond. And I had to ask myself, what can I control right now? I knew that I couldn't magically just fill the cinema, fill the other 58 seats like that. I wish I could, but I couldn't. So that's when I decided, right, these people have given me their time and money. I'm going to make this the best possible night for them. So what we did, we had some giveaways. I had some hats, I had some socks, I had some copies of my book. And I also knew that my wife was in the crowd, and it was the first time she'd been at this screening. So I decided that we were going to get her to come up for a Q&A in a way that no other state was able to see. So this was exclusive to Perth and the 11 people only. I found out that it was one person in the crowd's birthday the next day. So I asked my wife, who's a world-renowned singer, hey, can we sing happy birthday to this gentleman at the end? And also because the number was smaller, I was able to go around and shake the hands of everyone and find out how they found out about it, the impact that the movie and just even following the 58 had had. So people didn't really get those experiences in other places. And that was one of the benefits of firstly reframing, but secondly, choosing how I wanted to respond. And our response is a choice. I could have easily not reframed it and been really sad and upset and disappointed and allowed that to be how I responded or reacted. I could have been very low on energy. I could have been disappointed, and I could have just gone, let's get through this as quickly as possible and get out of here. And don't get me wrong, I've done that in the past. So I want you to ask yourself, firstly, the times that you feel embarrassed or feel like a failure, what's your opportunity to reframe? That then gives you an opportunity to respond differently. How would you respond if it were a full cinema? That is exactly how you should respond when it's empty, because these are all parts of the journey. And it's something that I'm proud to talk about, because I was almost getting into a bit of momentum and I was allowing that success to raise the standard of what I expected of myself. And there are things that are out of your control. Like what happened the other night, we sold many more tickets than actually rocked up, but it was a poor weather, it was raining, it was a Monday night, and various other things I can lean on and use as feedback. And this brings me to point number 3, which is review. What can the result teach me? Okay, so afterwards, you don't hide behind the reframe and just go, well, only 11 showed up. Oh, amazing, 11 showed up. If you're someone like me who is super ambitious and you're wanting to grow things and get better, the reframe can help you in the moment to respond as best as you can, so you continue raising your standard and give people the best possible experience of you. But you do want to take something away from it and be able to reframe to go, okay, well, what can I learn from this? I don't want to hide behind that reframe. So I had to ask myself, what did I do poorly and what can I improve on? For me, I hadn't promoted Perth properly. It was a last minute addition because I was flying over here for a workshop and I thought, let's definitely do that because I'd love to. But I didn't actively promote it as well as I did some other places. There was no paid marketing and I hadn't followed the same system that I'd used everywhere else. So when people bought tickets, there wasn't really a thank you so much for coming. If you have any other friends, colleagues, or family members that you feel would get interested, jump in and grab a ticket for them as well. So I hadn't done a lot of those things. So I can sit here now, one, being super grateful for the 11, but also at the same time be a little bit disappointed in myself that I hadn't held the standard to Perth that I had everywhere else. And that's on me. But I can live with that, right? Because I know where it fell short. And this is it. You own it, you learn, you improve. So the 3 steps is reframe, respond, review. If you want your life to get better, right, changing your perspective doesn't mean bullshitting yourself into believing that things went perfectly when they definitely didn't. I could be grateful for the 11 people who came out and still take responsibility for why more people didn't. Where in your own life is that happening? Where in your own life are you not taking responsibility? And finally, I want to leave you with this. Don't let the highs make you think you're better than you are. Definitely don't do that. And don't let the lows make you think you're worse than you are. Reframe what happened, control how you respond, and review what it can teach you. That is why there is so much power and benefit in the failures. If you've enjoyed this episode, short and punchy, make sure you click subscribe and or click around somewhere here and you can watch one of my next videos. Thank you for being here. See you in the next video.